Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to another fine episode of Record Breakers. I am Petey Rave, your man with no plan. Here with me is my quorum of yahoos, my fellow record viewers. We have none other than Patrick.
Word up.
We got Brett.
I'm a record viewer.
And we've got Drew.
Hi.
Oh.
Also, was that a cameo reference earlier, Swagger? That was weird.
I don't know.
Tell me what's the word of.
What's the word? Of course, this week, as we do with the cycle, we have our guest this week. A very special episode with a guest. We have none other than April Ness, a.k.a. Viking Lass. How you doing, April?
I am doing fantastic. Stuff full of pizza and smelling paint fumes. How are you?
Yes. No paint fumes, but I want pizza.
Mm-hmm. It was good. You can't have mine because it's already in my digestive system.
Oh. Of course, we talk about... we are talking about music, as we do every week. And here is April to provide us some music for this week. April, what album do you got for us this week?
I picked a favorite album of mine called The Panic Broadcast by a band called Soilwork. It's more of an industrial metal type of album, I guess you would say. I'm not that good at labeling things, but that's what I've been told. I do enjoy my metal. I'm a bit of a metalhead, so they are one of my favorite bands. They're from Sweden, and I am absolutely head over heels for Bjorn Speed, whatever you want to call him. That's the lead singer, his vocals. I found them through a friend of mine years ago. Saw them for the first time. Like, I heard one of their songs, I loved it, and then I went to go see Killswitch Engage and Lamb of God, and Soilwork was one of the openers, and I was just standing there, like, jaw-dropped, like, oh my freaking god, I love them, and they were just so good live. And then, I started listening to them a lot. And then this CD came out. The summer, I was living back in New Jersey with my parents after I had moved home from my college town, breaking up with my ex, and I got this album and I just started listening to it, and I put it in my car, and it didn't leave my car for 6 months. That was the only music I listened to, was this album. So this album reminds me of an awesome summer, hiking all the time, driving through random roads and woods, and it's just become such background noise for me anytime I do anything now. So I was like, oh, that's a CD I freaking love. I might as well share that one and choose that one. So yeah, that's why.
Yep. Let's go. Brett, what expectations did you have coming into this album?
Oh, I had no idea what this was. This is the style of metal I never got into. I opt for more, old man traditional metal.
Aw, that's cute.
I mean, I did bring Gwar on the show, but that was more because it was an exhibit of a novelty and some theatrics that entertained me. But
so you like giant penises?
Yeah, I do. I do very, very much. Cuttlefish of Cthulhu. But you already know if you listen to the show what my opinions on chug guitar and death growl are. But I really tried to come into this album with an open ear, I guess, and tried to not be a negative ninny.
Aww.
Yeah. Pat, what were your expectations coming into this album?
So my college years were heavily skewed towards Swedish death metal, which I think you could pretty easily throw Soilwork into. They were never one of the bands I was super into, but they had one song on a compilation album I bought in like 2003 from it was a really old song of theirs called Follow the Hollow. And I always was like, I wonder if they have other music that's good. And I think I heard 3 songs from that era of them, and I wasn't super into it. But I at least knew what I was getting into, so I was like, okay, I'm getting death metal, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Side note, there's a picture of me and April on my Chromecast right now. Crazy. Drew, what, it's from what were your expectations coming into this album?
Well, I knew April was into the metal. I knew she was into the more death metal side of things, so I was expecting some of that. But I saw Swedish, I saw death metal, and I saw a guy named Bjorn. And we all know my thoughts on sort of the growl vocal being something that I left sort of in my childhood. But I was like, okay, that's what we're going to get, maybe. But I went into it with an open ear, thinking, okay, she's smart, she's good, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to give it an honest opinion. So, we'll get to
that. April, what would be kind of the themes and elements that make up this album? What makes it tick musically?
I'll be honest, I am not always one for... I'm not a fan of screamo music to begin with. When it comes to vocals, I'm very picky. And with Soilwork, I heard... It took me... There's this one song from a past album, that's what like won me over, made me fall in love with Bjorn's voice. Also, the fact that I'd heard him on in another band he does called Disharmonia Mundi. And because of that, then I was okay and happy with it. And this album in particular, the instrumental music aspect of it. Like, there's so much metal that I listen to that I wish I could take the vocals out because I just love the music. This is one of those where I think the music is amazing. And the vocals, yeah, they're alright, and sometimes there's one song in particular which I love the vocals. But otherwise, it starts off very rough, and then it gets better. It's like at first, but then it's a little bit easier after that. So I don't know, I forget what you said. What was the question?
What were kind of the themes and elements that kind of make it up, like musically?
Alright, I'd say just freaking badass guitar. And it's not simple guitar riffs and stuff. It's literally it's like there's someone else singing with the guitar. Like, I remember the guitar parts because they're different throughout the songs and the entire album. So if you like good guitar, fast guitar, high energy, I don't know, for some reason, it just gets me right here.
Right in the feels.
Yeah, it does. It's just, I don't know, it's just good, metal to pump you up. Go have fun, drive around in your car and do stuff.
Yeah. Do stuff?
I don't know. I'm not good at describing things. I draw things. I don't write.
It's alright. Let's go with Brett. Brett, what would be the themes and elements that caught your attention?
There was a lot of drums in this album. A lot of drums. And the drums were, I have to say, every single bit of this album, the musicianship was top notch for the style that they're going for. There's the stuff that I can easily make fun of, but I really do think that the drumming makes this genre what it is because it's such a percussive and beat-driven style. Because that's the foundation that you have to put the guitar harmonies and because it's not like playing a chord progression on a guitar. You're going doodle diddle diddle over and over and over with a guy doing harmonies over that. So I found that interesting. Also, I did a little homework and I was like, okay, I want to see what the people in the know have to say because I don't. And I found that this album was very well received by critics of the subgenre, such as Leave the Hall and Metal Eater. But from the Wikipedia page, the new review gave this album 4 out of 5 and stated Soilwork is the kind of band so ahead of the curve that they have the keys to the asphalt paving machine. Now, I don't know what that means, but I think it's positive. So,
What the
Maybe
hell?
there's streets ahead? I don't know.
I don't know, but that's straight from the Wikipedia
Oh,
page.
paving the road. They're the ones paving the road.
I
Keys to
guess.
the asphalt machine, paving. No, yes, that's what it is.
They're making the curve.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're the one in charge of where the road's going because they've got keys to the machine that lays down the road. I figured it out. Don't say it's wrong because that's what that means.
No, I'm not saying it's incorrect. I'm just assuming that it's positive. So
Poetic license.
Yes. I'm just
Exactly.
picking on you.
But yeah, let's go. Pat, what would be the themes and elements that caught your attention?
This is sort of the later modern version of melodic death metal. It sounds a lot like In Flames to me, and that's a compliment. In Flames is a fantastic band, but it has that. If you've ever listened to them, they're a little more well known, I think. It's definitely a step past what melodic death metal started out as, which was sort of death metal plus Iron Maiden guitar melodies. It's moved on to that. The speed is way up. Lots of blast beats, as Brett was saying, on the drums. Like, the drums are really, really killer on it. The guitars are are fairly intricate more often than just simple chuggy stuff. Vocals are really strong throughout. I actually kind of dug his voice. It was you either get someone in death metal who can scream really really well or can sing really well, and it's nice once in a while when you find a guy who can do both. And Mr. Bjorn does both.
Oh, he does. He totally does.
He's Mr. Straight, I believe.
You can call most people call him Speed.
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 Speed can do both.
Speed. Drew, what would be the themes elements that caught your attention?
Well, as I said to begin this, what I grew out of in metal per se was the constant screamed vocals. That's what I went to shows a lot when I was a kid, going to local art metal shows and stuff like that. I did not get that in here. I did not get anything I was expecting, and I was really happy about that. The growling and the yelling in this album was used to the effect that I think it should be used in music in general, especially metal. It was to punctuate points. It was to punctuate musical parts. And I think that was really, really well done. The guitar work, as the other guys have said, was really great. There was intricacy even through the sort of chugging riffs in the verses. The solos were a lot of showmanship. I think Brett said it best. The drum work in metal can be either fantastic or it can be utterly flat, and this was really fantastic. You could tell the drummer really knew what he was doing. Overall, I think it really, really fit well together. This is the style of metal that I can say, yeah, no, this is some good stuff. Swelling vocals mixed with punctuated screams always hits a very, very nice note with me. So.
Yeah, some really nice elements on there. April.
Yes.
What would be some of the key tracks for you? What are some of your favorite songs, or some of the songs that you think make up the album and make it tick?
For me, one of my absolute favorite song on the album would be oh my god, why am I forgetting the Flow one? I'm so dumb.
Let This River Flow.
Holy crap, Let This River Flow. Like, I talk about this thing all the time, and for some reason I just forgot it. Let This River Flow is my favorite song on there, and I think it's because it slows down a little bit. There's a point in the middle where he just sings, and oh god, I love it when he sings. Yeah, I'm gonna swoon over him this whole time. He's a wonderful man with that voice of his. I really like it, and I love their style to take that, which you normally go so fast and quick, to slow it down so you can kind of like focus on the music a little more. It's just nicer. I don't know. I love that. Another one that I absolutely love is The Thrill. That one, it's just so good. I do love the lyrics, which, yes, of course, sometimes I have to look them up, but that's fine. As you guys said, the screaming, like the way he actually uses the growl, I love it so much. It's just so good. Like, I accept it. So, yeah, Let This River Flow, and also The Thriller, too, that really stuck out for me.
Let This River Flow has nothing to do with your streaming show, Rusty and Flo, with
No, even though I'm Flo, it's alright. Rusty, she would probably talk about it for me, because I'm Flo.
Yes.
And it would be all about me.
Yeah, so let's talk about some key tracks. Brett, what would be some of the key tracks for you that caught your attention?
We're gonna do the I'm gonna pull the card, the Record Breakers' first song of the album, Late for the Kill, Early for the Slaughter. The track opens up and it lets you know exactly what you're gonna get into. Copious drums, chugs, boodle deedles, that kind of stuff. Once you
there were some needly knees too.
Yeah, there were. And then, like, if I could throw my voice and then harmonize with it, there was some of that too. But you know, if you get through the first song and you're like, I want more of this, carry on. Night Comes Clean had a really Yngwie Malmsteen-esque solo. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Try and figure spelling out yourself. Google's pretty good at getting Yngwie Malmsteen right.
Yeah.
And Let This River Flow. There was some fun work with the guitar harmonies in this song that I picked out. And as a guy who is a huge Maiden fan, I enjoy when two guitars do two different things and it sounds good together because it means somebody had to think. So yeah, obviously these guys knew what they were doing to be able to play off pitch and make it sound good. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Drew, what would be some of the key tracks for you?
Well, the Thrill, I believe was mentioned. Sweeping guitar, great feel to that one. As I said before, a lot of my experience with metal is live shows, and they did the cool thing at the beginning of the song, which is like you drop down real low and then you slowly build up through the thing. That I like that sort of thing. Epitome. The vocals are fantastic. Swelling clean vocals with that don't sound like that cliche like swell of like power metal. Like that is always great. What I noticed in this song too was there was those squeals in the guitar.
Squealies? I love squealies.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it here, in my opinion, was it punctuated when a switch was about to happen. So it was almost like they used it to like pierce your ear and be like, hey, check out this thing we're going to do next. And then they would layer another thing. And that is, like Brett said, it sort of shows the band thinking ahead, and really thinking about the composition of the song as a whole, which I think was really cool. And then, like Brett did, I'm going to do it last. But go back to the beginning, Late for the Kill. It builds on a great foundation of guitar, and to me, metal lives and dies by guitar and drums. And the guitar in this was great. It did worry me a bit that I was gonna get what I was fearing I was gonna get, but I quickly changed my mind. And it was a fantastic way to jump into an album for somebody like me who had no clue what they were getting into when they got this.
Yes. Patrick, what would be some of the key tracks for you?
I will echo the everybody else talking about the opener, Late for the Kill, Early for the Slaughter. I was slightly worried about this because I had known there was one Soilwork song I really, really loved, and I had heard a couple of others, and I was like, this is not as good as that other song. So I just kind of let it go, and years passed, and I went down sort of the more progressive side of this sort of Swedish metal scene with, Opeth and stuff, which we've talked about previously. But occasionally I like just straight up, death metal, and this is death metal. It's a really good example of what the current crop is kind of doing in terms of mixing clean and screamed vocals, having really intricate guitar work. Another one, I Let This River Flow is fantastic. The intro sounded like really early In Flames, where they used to have these weird acoustic-y soft guitar intros, and then just kick you in the face when the song hits. And that one really, really just worked for me. I think it's the strongest song on here.
It's so good.
It is so good. And just in sort of in general, there's not
so good.
And the other one I sort of really Epitome, I really like. There was this one section towards the end of it where the guitars were kind of buried in the mix, but they were really intricate, and I just was like, oh, that's kind of nice back there. And I like when bands will bury something cool in the mix, and like you kind of get rewarded for looking for it. And that, I thought, like, it kind of surprised me how much I like it, because I get really snobby with my death metal, and I hate a lot of it, and I didn't hate any of this.
Yeah. Also, Late for the Kill, Early for the Slaughter has nothing to do with our friend Slaughters.
Oh,
So I
true.
wanted to shout him out.
Slaughters! I haven't talked to him in ages.
How you doing, Slaughters?
Slaughters, how are you, honey? Oh, wait, it was it. I was going, Slaughters, how are you? Even though he's not British, and nor does he have a terrible British accent like I do.
We
Has
don't
he
know what
spoken yet?
accent he does.
Has he
I think
spoken
he's-
yet?
Nobody knows.
He's 100% of our Canadian listenership, so
Oh!
Yeah, he is a newfie. He
Yeah.
is a newfie, so he definitely has some kind of an accent.
Newfies have, like, very strange accents, but they're amazing, and he's apparently very self-conscious about it.
I think
it's
he's
crap.
50, isn't he? Doesn't his wife listens sometimes, so he would be 50% of our Canadian listeners.
Oh, there we go. I thought you were saying he was
His household.
old. I was like,
His household. His household address accounts for all
are we
of our...
counting houses or devices when it comes to like
I
Nielsen
don't-
ratings?
I just don't count.
Much
It's
safer.
probably best, because there's probably 5.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about kind of our conclusions about the album overall. I'll go back around. Brett, what would be your conclusion about the album overall?
Well, I mean, will I return to this album? Not likely. Was it worse than anything that Swagger made me listen to? No.
Bam! Point. Yeah,
These,
Patrick.
Shade.
Welcome to the show. Brett hates it.
it's not even your album. I can still crap all over you. But these guys, these guys are skilled. They've been around long enough to prove that they can make a career out of what they do. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, like I like to say every time I don't really dig something, is the bands don't go in the recording studio to cater to me, Brett Hibbard, and just because I don't dig it doesn't mean that you won't. So, your mileage may vary, but give it a listen. If not for me, for the being nice to the guest.
Yes.
What the hell is that? No, listen to it because it's good music. Don't listen to Brett. Go try it for yourself.
Yes.
Okay,
Defense.
continue. Continue.
Yeah, true. What would be your conclusion about the album overall?
My conclusion is our guest has become the cornerback.
I'm
Jesus.
watching you.
Football reference. No. I'm going to say the opposite of Brett. I actually came away from this really liking it. And I usually tend, when you have a bad day, when you have a day that makes you angry, you usually tend towards the harder music in and of itself. And I usually tend towards either Curry Sauce or Comeback Kid, which is very different ends of that spectrum. I think I'm gonna put this into that vein, into that rotation of something that I'm gonna drive down the road way too fast, pumping my fist, doing the Viking thing of going to pillage, and do that whole bit. She's gonna bring out the horns, and that's fantastic. That's why we love April. And that's what I walked away from it. I very much enjoyed my time with this album, and I'm gonna maybe dive into a little bit more of them.
Ooh. I recommend definitely checking out their latest album, which came out after this. It's good. It's really good. I actually have a lot of their songs as like alarms and stuff because I love it so much. But their old stuff, I totally agree with you, Patrick. Their old stuff, not so much. You can listen to them grow. If you listen to all of their albums in order, you hear them grow and get better because they've been playing together for like 20 years.
Kind of like Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes.
Watch them
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know what I was doing there. I wanted to make a TMS reference of some kind. And I was just pulling at straws.
Oh.
Patrick, what would be your conclusion about the album overall?
I like Drew. I was kind of surprised by how much I like this. I thought I was really worried it was going to be the part of death of like this era of death metal I don't like, and it ended up being different enough than what I already listened to be unique, but having enough of the things I like for me to really latch onto it. And I think I'm definitely gonna listen to some of their more recent records because it's been a while since I've really spent a lot of time in the metal world. I don't want to say I've moved on because I still have, look at my iTunes. It's like I still got Slayer in here. Like I still listen to metal, just not as much as I once did. But I haven't sought out anything new in a long time. And here's something new, and I'm happy I have it.
Mm-hmm. Some nice metal.
High five.
And April, what would be your conclusions? What would your takeaway, and what you would put a ribbon on as far as your thoughts on the album overall?
I put a Bjorn on a Bjorn. See, like I'd put a ribbon on Bjorn's vocal cords. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know. I agree with you. This is a great album. If you're having a really shitty day, there are so many times where I've literally just gone and sat in my car and drove around. I was driving around listening to the album, and then I got home and I just sat in my car, turned off the engine, but the CD's still going. I've sat there and listened to several songs on a bad day. You can zone out and just like have it just like, yeah, oh, this album gets me. But at the same time, I love this album on a good day. When I'm feeling in a really good mood, I love putting this music on and like singing to it in my car, driving really fast down the highway, pumping my fists, wearing my Viking horns, like, yeah! So, my conclusion on the CD itself, like, it's one of those CDs you can let play through, and it'll start again, and that's fine. Like, I can listen to it again and again and again, and it's just always good. It's just solid, and I love it.
Solid as a rock.
Mm-hmm. Like a rock.
That is not Seeger.
Why are you doing Ford commercials?
God. If we ever do Bob Seger, that would be a hilarious episode. Seeger Fever, everybody. Seeger Fever.
Seeger Fever.
Alright, so now we arrive at the main event of the evening, what we've all been waiting for. We all have our haiku reviews.
Woo!
So I'm gonna start with Drew. Drew, what is your haiku?
Headbanging metal with a fair bit of depth and varied vocals.
Nice. Brett, what is your haiku?
Heavy-handed drums, thick voice, and heavy palm mutes. This ain't Chromeo.
It sure ain't.
It sure ain't. I'll do mine, right here in the middle. Wild, intense music with intense vocal styles. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Aww.
That's racist.
I'm Norwegian, so I'm partially offended.
And then you're also partially delighted.
But I'm close to those people. Therefore, I'm going to be offended.
I was bred from one of those people.
Yes. Patrick, what is your haiku?
Brings back memories of my weird college soundtrack. I miss death metal.
And last but not least, for the last word, April, what is your haiku?
For the record, written 5 minutes before the show started.
Shh.
Like?
Don't tell them the way that if they know how the sausage
but
is
I'm
made.
the guest. I'm the guest, so it's okay. Don't give yourself away. Look, you just ruined yourself. I'm the guest. It's okay for me to do this. There is some yelling, but it is lovely yelling. Bjorn, have my babies.
And now we've officially had a true fangirl moment on the show.
Woo!
I think we've accomplished something now.
Actually, I think that. Hold on, I wanna put an addendum. I think the first fangirl moment was Love X Stereo. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, maybe a little, maybe a bit.
Well, I normally don't get like fangirl over musicians. Well, over the bands I listen to. I'm not like, oh, I'm so in love with them. Oh, they're amazing. Like I'll be like, yeah, this music's awesome. But I just there's something about his vocals. I just really like it. I was like, oh my god. And then I saw him. I'm like, oh my other god, you're gorgeous. So.
Gentlemen out there in the crowd, here, take note. The cheapest and easiest way to be attractive to women is to be a musician.
It's true. I swear to God, that adds 5 points onto the 10-point scale. You're almost there. Go for it.
I don't think it works if you play ska music, unfortunately.
What? No. In your case, it does. I don't want to say what I'm about to say because it's really mean. And Drew, I like you, so I'm not going to say it.
It's about the mustache, isn't it?
No, it isn't actually.
Oh.
Oh, the mustache is what's working.
Well, that
least
reels in a
for
different
me.
kind of crowd.
Well, I enjoy these, so I never complain about a mustache.
Yep.
It's Franklin. He was mailed to me.
Yes. All right. Before we get too much of a tangent, that was our haikus. That was our thoughts on the album. Soilwork, Panic Broadcast, fantastic stuff. So you can check that out on if you're ever playing Record Breakers the home game, you can check it out on the Spotify playlist. We try to link it on every episode. You can check it out right there in the show notes, right in the little descriptor. It's a link to our Spotify playlist. We keep up with everything there. We try to curate for you guys. If you want us to curate a playlist somewhere else, let us know. And we will do just that. On that playlist is going to be our next album. We're getting now, next week, is A Whole New Year. We're getting to the end of the year, so next year's a whole new year. 2015. 2015 marks the 10-year anniversary of this album, which is a Danger Doom's The Mouse and the Mask. Yes, the album with the all the people from Adult Swim. Crazy. It's super fun. But check that out. It's going to be a fun discussion. April.
Yes.
What is going on in your neck of the woods? What's going on in your world?
So much. So much is going on. I just drove out to Seattle from Boston, and I decided to take 2.5 months to do it because there are people to visit and hang out with. I quit my life over there, and I came over here. I'm living with Chinbeard and Brittany, and I'm starting a new life of doing art and trying to support myself on art, which I'm not supporting myself necessarily. I have savings that are working on, but they're dwindling. So I'm currently drawing and testing out paints and trying new materials and trying to figure out how to follow my dream and have it be my career. Yeah.
What's your Spire? What's your Etsy? I gave up the name, but what's your Etsy? Plug that out there.
My Etsy is etsy.com/shop/spireart. You can also go to aprilness.com, and there's links to my Twitter, my Facebook page for my art, which is facebook.com/spireart again. But aprilness.com is easier to go to. And you can keep up with... What?
You keep going.
Oh, I was going to say, and the best way to follow me is usually on Twitter because you can get live updates on like a project I'm working on, and I absolutely love getting input from other people because I've been working on these like tree things lately, and I'll like ask people, like I'll only do one piece at a time and be like, okay, all right, well I have purple bark, what color should I do the leaves? And people will be like, this, that, and I literally will choose colors from what people suggest to me. So if you follow me on Twitter, which is @Viking_Lass, you can help me create artwork and keep up on projects as I'm working on them, random things I see, fat cat photos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was asking about, and I was going to ask you, how are you starting up your art streams yet?
Well, thank you. Yes, my art streams have started up. I believe Mr. Hibbity Bibbard down there is aware of this. He actually won one himself this week. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, that's 9 o'clock Eastern time, I will do an art stream on Twitch. I'm Twitch TV /Viking_Lass again. And I draw for about an hour, hour and a half. Some nights I get crazy and draw for like 3 hours. And by the end of the stream, I will pick some random person in chat as long as they just shoot an email with the word of the stream to me. And you can win it. And I send it to you. I'll mail it to you. And the reason I can mail it is because I also have a Patreon and people give me money and I use that money to mail out my artwork. And the higher that Patreon gets, the more things they'll give away, like moleskins. Oh, yes. Yeah.
So you can win something like this, which I have right behind me.
Yes, Petey was a winner in one of my weeks, and I was very happy to send it.
What do we call those? You can win yourself a Ness?
Oh, and
an
A Ness, because my initials are A for April, last name Ness, A Ness, Anus, ha ha! My mom hates it when I bring that up.
Yeah, you can win a piece of her art, or you can buy one on her Etsy. Either way, you too can proudly display your anus.
Yes, proudly display that anus, Petey. I'm proud of you for displaying your anus for the internet to see.
So that's it. Go check out all those things. You can find us all over the internet, of course. Patrick is at The Swagger. Brett is at Hibbity Bibbard, HIBBITYBIBBARD. Drew is at X2for_X. I'm at PD Rave. The show is at 4 Record Breakers. That's the number 4 Record Breakers. RecordBreakersPodcast.com. RecordBreakersPodcast@gmail.com. That's it. All the things. iTunes, Stitcher. Just follow the things. Vote for us at the Chat Room Awards. We still got a little bit more time till the voting ends.
Woo!
So vote for us. Go check that out. That's it. Until next time. Hasta los huevos.
Bye!
I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Toodaloo.
Aw. Nice pipe. Do you even like that? You don't even like that. That doesn't count.
I don't. I got like a pack of Captain Black. One guy here. I was smoking it on the stream.
I probably would put like chocolate shavings in there and then just suck them up.
I really just do it because I like the smell of pipe tobacco.
Oh,
So
I love
I
tobacco.
just puff it into the between
wish-
that and my butterscotch bourbon candle that is very
Ooh.
tiny.
That is tiny.
I am a metrosexual man who likes his scents.
And then we
That is
look
not a
forward
word
to.
I would
You
have
can maybe
to describe
bring,
you.
you should bring the
I'm a
pipes to Smoke
metrosexual
Monster.
like welder who spent half the day working on a car.
He's a proud metrosexual. Let him be the way he is.
There's no
Yes.
other way I'm going to be because I'm a stubborn asshole.
Aw.